All right, let's get right into it. The commercial real estate market today, it's really a tale of two cities. On one hand, you have these brand new, ultra-premium buildings that are absolutely thriving. But on the other, a lot of older properties are left fighting for relevance. Today, we're going to break down how those buildings can compete, not with a wrecking ball, but with a really smart, strategic new vision. So, what's the number that's driving all of this? Well, according to the Wall Street Journal, the shiniest new trophy towers in places like Manhattan are pulling in over $100 per square foot. That's the absolute peak of the market, and believe me, it creates a ton of pressure for everyone else.
And that, of course, leads us to the big question, right? If you're managing an older, mid-tier Class B property, how do you possibly attract and keep tenants when you can't offer the same shiny, brand-new amenities? How do you even begin to stand out?
Well, we're going to tackle that by breaking it down into 5 key parts. We'll start with the problem itself, what we're calling the Class B squeeze. Then we'll explore a totally new way of measuring value, the experience per foot shift. After that, we'll look at design as a strategy, how to actually do it without construction. And finally, the huge return on investment you get by focusing on your people. First up, let's really dig into the core challenge here, the Class B squeeze. This is a direct result of that divided market we were just talking about. So you've got these landlords of mid-tier buildings who are in a really tough spot. They have to get creative, they have to get smart, and they have to find ways to differentiate themselves. Because let's be honest, the old playbook of just offering 4 walls and a floor, that's just not going to cut it anymore. To solve this kind of challenge, you need a fundamental change in your thinking. And that brings us to a whole new way to measure a building's value. This shift toward experience per foot. You know, for decades, the value of an office was all about raw square footage. How much space are you getting for your money? But today, that whole conversation has changed. Tenants aren't just buying square footage anymore. They're buying experience footage, the quality of the environment, and really how it makes their employees feel and perform. And hey, don't just take my word for it. This is backed by some serious industry research. The Gensler Research Institute puts it perfectly. Space has to do more now. It can't just be a place where work happens. It has to be a catalyst for inspiration and connection. So what does that experience really mean? What does it boil down to? Well, it's these key drivers. Tenants are actively looking for spaces that help people feel connected to their coworkers, that actually inspire creative work, and that build a genuine sense of belonging. Suddenly, a subjective feeling becomes a clear, marketable advantage. This all leads us right to our third point. If experience is the goal, then design is the strategy you use to get there. And we are talking about way more than just picking out a new pink color.
I mean, think about it. The modern workforce is different now. After spending so much time working from home, people are incredibly tuned in to how their physical environment affects them. They know a drab, uninspired office can just drain their energy, while a vibrant, thoughtful one can actually boost it. And there's some really cool research from HGA Architects that points to a specific tool for this, environmental graphics. These are large-scale visuals, think murals or branded art, that can reflect nature or local culture or a company's own mission. They're a super powerful way to help employees feel reconnected to their job and to each other.
And here's why this is so critical for the bottom line. These aren't just nice-to-have design choices. They have direct, tangible business outcomes. A strategically refreshed corridor or lobby isn't just an expense. It's an investment that can directly lead to shorter vacancy periods and higher tenant renewal rates. It's a no-brainer. Okay, so you're on board with the strategy, but the thought of a messy, expensive, and super disruptive renovation project is a total non-starter. Well, let's talk about the technology that makes this kind of visual upgrade possible without all those traditional headaches. The key here is something called wall printing technology. I want you to imagine a mobile, high-res printer that can apply basically any digital image you can think of directly onto your existing walls, whether they're drywall, concrete, or even brick. No vinyl, no wallpaper, just a seamless, high-impact visual right on the surface. And the operational benefits are just a game changer. The installation is incredibly fast. We're talking under 3 hours for a typical wall. There is zero mess or material waste. The inks are eco-friendly, using low VOC, UV-cured formulas. It works on pretty much any surface you can throw at it. And, this is huge, it's not permanent. If a new tenant moves in and wants a change, you can just paint right over it. Simple as that. So what this all boils down to is you get the powerful visual impact of a major capital improvement, but you get it without the crazy high costs, the lengthy downtime, and all the operational disruption that comes with a traditional construction project. Okay, let's zoom out for our final point here.
This isn't just about leasing space or real estate tactics. It's about recognizing that the building itself is a strategic tool for investing in what really matters, human performance. This is the human capital ROI.
Let's start with a massive problem that is front and center for pretty much every company right now: employee exhaustion. Burnout is a huge drain on productivity, on innovation, and the physical place where people work plays a really big role in that.
And again, this isn't just a hunch. There's real science to back this up. A study from 2022, published in Frontiers in Psychology, found a direct link. They discovered that aesthetically pleasing workplaces can actually have a restorative effect, helping to counteract those feelings of burnout and exhaustion.
And that is how we bring this whole thing full circle. Those environmental graphics we talked about, they stop being just decoration and they become active tools. They turn these passive, blank walls into surfaces that can re-engage, re-energize, and restore the people who have to look at them every single day. Which brings us to our main conclusion. For these older buildings fighting to stay competitive in a tough market, the answer isn't always demolition. The smartest, the fastest, and the most cost-effective path to relevance is transformation.
So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. Take a hard look at your property, your lobby, your hallways, your common areas. Is your building just providing square footage, or is it actively creating an experience that people will actually want to come back for? The answer to that question could really define your future.